So, please introduce yourself to us. By us,
Okay.
I mean.
My name is Dara Okeowo. I'm a wife and a mom of 2 boys, and I'm HR professional living in the UK. Should I leave it brief like that?
Yes, that's fine. So, how long have you been in the UK?
4 years now.
4 years.
I
Okay.
moved with the family 4 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
So,
like
how? Okay.
I schooled here after my BSc, and I lived here for a while.
Right.
So I went back to Nigeria, then came back again.
Should I ask? Should I say what I usually say when I hear people return to Nigeria?
Why?
I always ask why. Who told them there's light now? That's what I say all the time. I'm like, you came back, really? Or somebody came back? Why?
Actually, yeah, I had to. I just got married and we decided to make Africa home at that time. Because the marriage was pretty young, yeah.
Okay. That I understand.
Yes, it was just wise for me to go back home.
Right. Okay. So let me introduce myself to you.
Yes.
All right. Hello, everyone watching us right now. My name is Desola Sosan. I am a certified family systems engineer. I am a peak performance coach, and I'm a parenting coach. And the purpose of this gathering, this auspicious gathering, is to have conversations with parents who are working out parenting outside their home country. Typically parents who had their children in their home country and then had to relocate for one reason or the other. And I just thought, how are they managing? It must be a learning experience for them that they probably don't realize that they're learning at the time. So they're working through it and walking through it and making sense of it. And I believe that they would have gained some expertise that other parents who are considering such a move or who have moved already and are juggling things here and there, knowledge is so powerful. Sometimes some things are so apparent to some people, but they are not to you. And the day you hear, you're like, really? I could have done that. Are you serious? So I just went through the months of suffering for nothing. So that's what I thought about when I decided to reach out to my friends, my husband's friends, everyone we know who has left Nigeria and our parents. I decided to reach out to them such that they can share their experience and people can learn and gain insights. And then I think it's some kind of therapy. I think it will end up being some kind of therapy for some parents because when you relive experiences and you are talking about it and in hindsight, you're like, okay, maybe I didn't do too bad. I did the best I could at that point in time. Or, man, I've been through a lot. I've surmounted a lot of challenges and I'm here and I'm still standing. So it's a win-win, I believe, and I hope. And I thank you for joining us. So Dara has so graciously accepted to have this conversation with us. And I am so grateful. I appreciate you. I thank you for your time because I know time is an important resource. And you have so kindly decided to give it to us today. She has given me some time earlier by answering a few questions, but we're going to talk about those questions and hopefully we can wrap this up in an hour so that we can let her get back to her evening and preparing for work and school for the children tomorrow. All right, so we're going to jump right in. I hope that's okay, Dara.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Okay. All right. So the children are 7 and 9.
Correct.
Now, the boys like mine are 7 and 9 now. That's fantastic. And you're originally from Nigeria and you live in Kent. What's it like living in Kent?
Kent is outside London. Everybody knows London to be hustling and bustling, where people go to work. People do live in London too, but you see that nowadays, many families are trying to move out of London to the outskirts of London once their kids start reaching a certain age because of the kind of schools that they want their children to attend. So in Kent, there are many grammar schools in Kent. I will explain why. In Nigeria, we know primary school, secondary school, which is either private or public. But in the UK, I had to learn all those things too. So there is there is normal government schools, which are really good. You'll find they are on different levels, and data about those schools are available online for you to know whether this school is outstanding, whether this school is, the details are there. That the ratings are there, on the government's website. But there are also parents that want to send their children to private school. So there's private primary school. However, for secondary school, you have grammar schools. For people that send their children to grammar schools, there's a special exam they write. They call that exam 11 plus. There's independent schools. Independent schools are private secondary school. Then independent school now has levels.
Okay.
Yes. So for each independent school, you need to write their exam to enter those independent schools. It's just like the way you have the likes of Harvard, you have Stanford, and you have the other universities too. That's the same thing with independent school. Yeah. There are some independent school in Kent that are really known. They know that it's hard to enter. You have to really prepare your children, for their exams especially.
So they're like elite schools.
Yes, they are elite schools, but many people know the schools that, let's say, the royal family went to, but that's just by the side. There are still top-notch private schools in the UK, and you'll find major. Kent has so many grammar schools, so the options are more than people living in London or anywhere else. Yeah, so many people that live in London, or let's say, around London, you see like our age group, they start to move towards Kent. Yeah, when for their children. And you still see parents that send their kids to school in Kent, even though they live in London.
Right.
Yeah, they travel. There's burden, but most people in these grammar schools, they travel. You see children from the Nigerian GS1, which is year 7 here, the board train. They could travel for an hour to come to school, which it's for people like you think about it, it's a lot on them. But it's just the sacrifice that some parents, they will explain to the kids that you just have to do this. It's one of the best schools, is grammar schools. So yes, there's grammar school, there's independent school, then there's academy. So children that are not able to enter grammar schools, there are also secondary school they can go to, and they will still flourish. You get what I mean? But when we define flourish, we Nigerians, our background growing up is either you're a doctor, lawyer, but here they will tell you an artist, people that love to draw. You see children from year 1, they will tell you, this child is not interested in learning, but is good at drawing. They will not force him to learn reading. They will not force him to do maths or all those things. They will leave him to continue drawing. People like that, if they go through primary school, up to year 6, and they are not that adept in, the normal calculus, maths, literacy, and things like that, there are secondary schools they can go to.
That are specific to their capabilities.
Definitely.
Dance or something.
Correct. But you see Nigerians that come here, they will tell you, no, my child, do what? No. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes,
so you see that in grammar schools, most children that you see, the Asians, Blacks, and few Chinese.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Because our Nigerian people won't go there.
They go to the academy too, but most Nigerians here try to, put a lot in their children for them to enter those A-list schools. Yeah. So
those grammar schools are secondary?
Yes.
Okay. That's from year 7.
Year 7, which is just 1.
Just 1.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So other than schools, why else do people move to Kent? It's quiet.
The environment. The environment. Right. You see all this. It might not be in the news like you have in the US where they kill a Black person today and it's all in the news. It happens in the UK too, on a regular. And the environs where that happens most of the time is some areas in London. Yeah.
Those stabbings. The
stabbings happens in the UK regularly, regularly. You might not see it in the news, like they put it up in the news for US, but it happens here too. And there are some peculiar areas in London that, they are known for that. So you see people move out of London to Kent, to Essex. Yes, it's more serene. It's quiet and it's not too far from London. So you can live in Kent and work in London.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. That's interesting. So I wanted to know what kind of preparation did you do before relocating, especially with the children?
In terms of preparation, I believe every family will have their core values. So it wasn't as if we did any special preparation aside that. I was attending Daystar when I was in Lagos with my husband. So those grounding, it was there, not just for me, but for us too as a family. So they understand that they are Christians and they understand the meaning personally before we got here. And also, everybody will know the reason why they want to leave. And even now, it's not about, some people tell you, Dara, it's not as if I heard God, I want to go, but I want to leave that Niger. And we all understand what is happening. But for us, we knew that God opened the door. And there are some doors that you don't knock too hard and it just opens. Then you know that, okay, if God is in it, it shouldn't be too hard for us. And that was what happened to us. And so in terms of special preparation, not really. And I'll also say for people that are relocating to the UK, we have an advantage in Nigeria because there are so many, like 80% of the private schools in Nigeria use British curriculum. I think because Nigeria was colonized by Britain. Right. And in as much as your child attends an average good private school in Nigeria and you are living with young children, they will be ahead when they get to the UK. They will be ahead. So it's not as if we did any special preparation or anything. They were already ahead, but the work is to maintain them being ahead.
Right.
Yeah. So the foundation was there by the grace of God and the awareness of who they were in Christ. So that was the basic preparation, and they were young anyway when we moved here.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, however, for people that have probably older children, maybe children that are already in secondary school, it might be another kind of preparation, drilling it into their ear, who they are, having values and picking where they need to live. It's very easy for people to join gangs here. It's very easy here. So it depends on the age of the children.
And the point of
relocating,
The older children require more work.
Oh, yes. Which is normal, isn't it? Even back home in Nigeria. Yes. As the children grow, when they were young, there's the kind of work that you do, but as they grow, it's another kind of work. And it's just hard. Yeah.
So there was a bit of intentional parenting. You've spoken about the spiritual aspect and the family values. Maybe a family vision communicated to the children. So
yes.
Right. Fantastic.
And the church helped in Nigeria. We had a very solid children's ministry in church.
Junior church.
Yeah, so it helped. They were used to going to church. They were used to attending fellowships. I was a team, what do we call it again? I was a cell leader. At some point, I almost became a section leader. So, they were well grounded. Yeah, there was some form of
That
intentional
help.
parenting from when they were young. And I believe that's the best foundation you can give your children. Yeah.
Right. So, how did you tell them that you were moving permanently? I understand they had been to the UK on vacation a few
Yeah,
times.
they come to the UK on vacation. Oh, okay. Like when I was pregnant for the second one, I brought the first one with me to shop. We come to the
Okay.
UK a lot. So they were not
Okay.
new to the territory. Then
Right.
when we were about to move, like I said, they were still young. We just told them
Mm-hmm.
that, oh, because my husband came first, but we all came together. Then my husband stayed and I went back with them. They came back maybe probably like, I think after 4 months. So we
Okay.
just told them that, oh, we'll be moving
They
to
said
this
cool.
place. And yeah,
Okay.
they were even happy. Like where they used to go for holiday, now we are going to live there. You know, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were happy. It wasn't, then, at that age too, they had friends, especially fellowship, people from our fellowship, church friends, their school friends. They will talk about it even at that age. I'm going to miss my friend. I'm going to, and you tell them that you make new friends. We'll make new friends. And even when we left, we're still trying to keep in touch with the people back home. And even
Right.
till now, my day staff fellowship, we still do prayer meetings every month.
Oh, wow.
We have
Wow.
like 4 families that left from my fellowship after we left. However, we still remain, as in, we do night vigils, not vigil, like 2 hours prayer meeting once a month. And we see each other, check. Yeah. So we still try to maintain that friendship. But along the line, after a year, they forgot about their friends in school. In the school in Nigeria, they will move on, they will make new friends. They will, yeah.
And it was easier on them because they were younger.
It was easier when they were younger. And like I said, depending on the age, each child will come, I don't know how to explain it. Even as young as they were, there were all those, oh, mom, they are not calling my name right.
Okay.
Things like that. Or, the R word, but the school would try as much as possible to tell you that, oh, there's no racism here, there. But when you smell it, you speak about it, you talk to your child that, no, you don't keep quiet when this happens. You talk about it. Let me know if this happens. If they don't call your name right, tell them how to call your name. Yeah,
so
they
they felt those things at that very young
age.
They
will talk about it. Yes, they will. They will.
Yeah. So how did you handle that? What would you do? Maybe they brought something to your attention. Say somebody said something that was rude.
Oh, I pick it up immediately with the
school.
In the school will always tell the children that if anything happens to you, rather than going home to tell your parents, make sure you tell your teacher first. Okay. So it's when the teacher hasn't really done something about it, then the parents can now work on it. And that's the place where I want to say, have an open communication with your child. Like every day when they come back home, we talk about how their day was. I asked from the morning until you came back home, what happened. They will remember everything. And if anything happens to them and they were not comfortable or not happy about it, I'll ask, did you tell your teacher? So what did the teacher do? If the teacher did not do anything, then I'll pick it up like immediately.
Like officially write a mail or go to the school?
You can do a mail or go to the school. Maybe when you are dropping off or picking up the next day, you talk about it immediately. You just call the teacher to the side and say, this and this happened, and yeah, I don't.
So what does the school? Did you check for a policy of the school in this regard before taking your children there?
It's not the school. It's just like the normal code of conduct in the UK. For all schools, they are meant to, the head of school, the teachers are meant to do that, and that's why taking your children to the right school matters. You try to ask people that have taken their children to that school, how was your experience? How is the head teacher? How are the teachers? What kind of school is it? Is it just outstanding for education and lacking morale? Because that's another thing. You will see the rating online that is outstanding for just education, but what about the moral aspect of things? So you need to match both and not just send children to school because they are academically outstanding. Yeah. And another thing is, I will talk from the perspective of being a Christian. We make sure that the children went to a Christian school. Their ethos is based on biblical scriptures. Every term, they have a scripture backing their ethos for the term. Yeah. So we have to make sure
are there many of those available?
Sorry?
Are there many of those kind of schools available?
There are many.
Because I wonder if when they get, there are many.
There are many. There are so many Church of England schools. There are many Church of England schools. There are many Catholic schools. Yeah. There are many.
Okay. All right. So that was priority for you.
It was. They must attend a Christian school. Yeah. And not that they won't mix it, because you still see other religion, families practicing other religion bring their kids to such schools too. Yeah. They will teach them the different kind of religions. They will teach them about Hindu. They will teach everything. However, the school is a Christian school. So you'll notice that they will just mention the different kind of religion so that everybody is aware for inclusivity's sake.
Right.
Yeah. Or is a Christian.
But they uphold biblical standards in discipline and teaching.
They will even add Bible verses to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's fantastic. So you were alone in Nigeria for a bit?
Yes, I was.
Did you parent in the UK on your own for a bit as well?
No. I've never been alone in the UK, but in Nigeria I did for just a couple of months, and it's different. In Nigeria, if it's not that long, it's not so bad. You have help.
You have support.
You have support. Money can pay for many things in Nigeria, but money cannot pay for everything here. Money can, but you can. The quality of nanny you want in Nigeria, you can pay for it. You can get it. But here, even the nanny you will pay for, it comes with rules. Because you have to give your nanny off day. There's a day where they will not do anything in the house. It will be just for them. And the money we are talking about, the cheapest au pair or nanny you will see in the UK is the cheapest, or maybe £150 per day. And any Nigerian that will relocate to the UK first, you convert naira to pounds every time you want to spend. But you come to a time, for your sanity's sake, you just have to stop. Or else the exchange rate can just make you go mad.
Drive you crazy.
Am I spending £150 just for a week on nanny? And those are the kind of things that the adjustment that will be required when families move here, especially when you have young kids. Unlike Nigeria, where kids, you have nurseries that they are not so expensive. Children can go to pre-nursery from like 18 months, isn't it?
Yes.
Here, children enter reception, which is a normal school, from 4+. So what happens when the child is 0 to 3 years and 11 months? They need to go to nursery.
And that costs a lot of money.
It's not small money. A normal registered nursery in the UK is £48 per day.
A day?
Yes. So you just have to make that decision the couple will need to make that decision. If both earn well, which happens to some people, you can afford that £1,000 per month for nursery if you have a child that is still in that age bracket. However, for many, you see that they just sit down and have that discussion. One of us needs to stay at home to do this childcare thing, and the other will go to work, or somebody will work day, somebody will work nights. And working nights is just to have that financial and family balance for somebody to be there for the kids. It's usually not easy for the person working nights. It's just like a change of, your total system.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So did you have to do that for a bit?
Yes, I did. So when I got here,
You
also
picked the night?
I did night shifts. I had a catering business in Nigeria, which I continued with when I got here. But catering there, then I was my business in Nigeria, I was still running it while I was here. So I did that for I think a year and a month. I couldn't continue because if your eyes are not there in Nigeria, you just can't manage. You can't manage it well, especially hands-on business like that, like catering.
Right.
So I closed the business in Nigeria and I continued here. But it wasn't like the orders were not coming like Nigeria. I wasn't well established. I didn't have enough customers. Yeah. So I was at home with my youngest son because he was in nursery for a while. I did some contract job, but it was contract. And when it ended, I didn't get another contract. But God so good. I think it was just God. I got an HR role, which was a night shift role. I've never seen a night shift HR role in my life. Like when people see me that I do night shift, they always think maybe I'm a nurse or I'm a doctor. Yeah, because it's only nurses and doctors that do night shift anyway.
Yeah.
Unless I tell you that no, I'm not. That's what they think. But no, it was an HR role. I got a job in a manufacturing company that runs a 24-hour shift.
And
then
so you needed someone for the night shift.
Yes, and that was it.
You're back to working during the day now.
Oh yes, I couldn't do that for more than 2 years. It wasn't easy.
I can imagine.
It wasn't easy.
But then you would have a day off or 2 days.
No, okay. Because I'm in HR, I understand the working time directive and there are labor laws here.
Right.
You can't do more than 48 hours if you are working nights in a week.
Okay.
And that's 8 days over 5 days or 12-hour shift over 4 days.
Right.
However, if you are in the medical profession, there's an exception to that rule. And you see many people opt out to do more hours. They do overtime.
So they can earn more.
Yeah, they do overtime. However, it's not forced on them, but they just opt out of the 48-hour rule to do more hours in the medical profession. However, in manufacturing and other industry, for the working that time directive in the UK is maximum 48 hours per week. So I do that. I was doing 5 days on, 2 days off. But you see many people do 4 days on, 3 days off. But trust me, even though it's 3 days off, it sounds interesting. Your first day is your system. You are trying to use that to catch up because your system is messed up. Yes.
Right. I'm glad you're back to working during the day.
It served its purpose. I had a child in nursery
for a period.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it was a blessing at that time.
It was a blessing.
Awesome. So what do you do for fun as a family in Kent? What kind of activities are available?
There are many activities, to be honest. There are many. We could go out, trampoline parks. There are activities. Then every neighborhood has a park, a children's park, where kids can go to. Yeah, you could go out for a bicycle ride. You can just have a day out in the park. You can play with the kids. We play. We have Scrabbles. We've got Scrabble, chess, snake and ladder, Ludo. We've got badminton. So all that is there because you also have to look at the weather when it's getting really cold, and there are times during the winter that you can't really go out, but you still need to create that atmosphere for the children in the house.
Right.
Yeah. But so there are many activities, trust me, many activities. Yeah.
So can I say that it's the same thing the children do? Do they have activities specific to them?
Yes. Another thing here is you need to keep them engaged. So your children have to be doing at least some form of extracurricular activities. And the school will also introduce them to some. So you see children that play football and they'll have football practices at least maybe twice a week. You see children into gymnastics. You see children that do swimming. They introduce children to swimming at a very early age here. And it takes them through like that, yes. So my kids do at least 2 every week.
Of those?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, any issues that
like
you're currently managing? I don't know. Do you have any parenting challenges that that you're still trying to work out, that you're gathering data on, or something you've attempted a few strategies that are not panning out quite yet, or everything is
by the
nice
grace,
and loose?
Okay, by the grace of God, everything is okay. But like I said, it's a journey. It's just like when you first have your first child, they will tell you when your child is sleeping, you sleep. But I don't know why they still say that thing till now. It doesn't work. And you just know that, okay, with this one, you do like test and practice. Oh, this one is working. Then you continue with this, that the child will change. Then you try. So it has been like that. And I won't call it challenges. I will just say a journey that will just keep learning every day. And I will always go back to my faith life, and as a Christian, I believe God shows us things about our children because they are actually not ours 100% like that. I know they are God's and we are just like caretaker. Unless we don't want to ask, then he will not say. However, even at times when we don't ask, he keeps saying. The problem could be us not hearing. So God has really been faithful all through. I won't call them challenges. I will just say it's a journey. It's a journey.
Okay. So it's a perspective thing.
It's a perspective. If you think when you believe it's a challenge or issue, you always see it that way. And it's always be like, I don't know how to call it. The way you even pray to God about it will be like fall down and die. But God might want to take you through. Maybe when you are reading the scriptures, some things will just come to you, or it will bring some people along your way. And in the midst of you chatting about stuff, they tell you those things that you've been looking for questions about, different things like that. Yeah. Awesome. So I won't say it's a challenge, it's a journey. And everybody will pick their journey from one way or the other. It's just to add to the prayer point that God should send, the right people your way when you get here, helpers of destiny. We also pray for the kind of friends we want our children to have, because that's a very important part too. And you trust me, children have friends from nursery. Yeah, so we pray about the kind of friends that we want them to have. The ones we want that they will be in the same class. However, we'll choose their friends for them with prayers. And another good thing about UK is, UK, they are very structured. You can Google and check the term days. I mean, the days that the children are going to be in school for this term and what will happen each day. Okay. It's there online. Even when you reach, when the school starts, they will send you like details of, from this term. They will send you everything. When you are going to do the meet the parents, the different thing that will happen. Before they go to the next class, they would have given you the teacher's name, the TA and all that. When I get reports like that, I take it to God in prayer, because now I know who is going to teach my child for the next class. And there are some prayers that I pray to say, however you want to do it, but for my own child, you will never deny them what belongs to them. Whether you are the same color or not, you will not even see color. And so it all still comes down to me being a Christian and my understanding of who I am in Christ, how I'm meant to parent these children, the way God,
and how seriously you take it, because I hear intentionality in a lot of
really? Sorry,
yes, I hear intentionality. You take it very, very seriously.
I know it's like a serious project.
Yes. It's it's commendable how much effort you put, how much thought you put into decisions that concern them, and how you drag God by the collar and you say you must do this one.
You are the one that gave me this one. I need the footprint for this one. What do you want them to be doing at this stage? Am I doing it right? If I'm not doing it right, if I'm not stopping, because I know I can be stubborn. Maybe I've heard God say this, but what is God saying right now? There's a difference between what God said and what He is saying. Some people will say God never changed, but it just depends on perspective and your understanding. He's not, He hasn't changed, He hasn't lied, but there's a difference between what He said and what He is saying. So it's good to get these things.
Anyway.
Exactly. And another thing is, you might not even be the one that will hear it. It could be friends that you have. It could be families. It could be from anywhere. And it could even be from that child himself.
Yeah.
It could be from them.
So you and God and Daddy, do you have a coach? Do you use a parenting coach? Do you talk to a professional? Do you have a therapist for the children? Do you explore those parts? Or do you do research on your own?
I do research on my own, and I have a group called Thy Precious Jewels. I don't know whether you've heard about it before. No, I joined Thy Precious Jewel from Nigeria.
Okay.
So I knew about Thy Precious Jewels from Nigeria, and it's been a blessing to me. Yes, and it's quite, it touches on all aspects of our life as a daughter of God, as a wife, as a mom, even for people that are single parents or single, there's a name they call people that are older singles. Is that what it's called? Yeah. It's been the platform has been a blessing to me. And
what kind of platform is it? Facebook or?
It's on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Oh, I see.
When there are programs.
Okay.
So it's just a platform for leading women in the godly way. It touches on all aspects of a woman's life. So yeah, so you see when there are conferences, they touch on everything from parenting to marriage to relationship with your husband to you, because in all of these things you can forget about yourself.
Absolutely.
Yes. And we also do, back to school prayers, and they teach you how to pray right. I won't call it day now because I'm part of Thy Precious Jewel.
Okay.
So it's also finding families and groups like that you can belong to. And you know that with this one, I can't be derailed. With this one, they will line my path. With this one, they will introduce you to different things. And another thing is probably the church we attend. It's just like when you are in Daystar, just because of Daystar, your eyes and your understanding would have been opened in different ways. Not only through the teachings, it could be through the trainings and different things. We attend a Pentecostal church, and let me talk about the church. It was a decision myself and my husband made when we were coming here that we're not going to attend a Nigerian church or a church owned by a Nigerian pastor.
Okay.
It's just that I don't know how to call it here. I don't know how to define it. And God, we had our reason. We just didn't want to do it. Unless God now tells us now, okay, now this is what I want you guys to do. So we attend a Pentecostal church here, but it's not owned by Nigeria. However, it's mixed. You see blacks there. You see, the structure of the church is patterned after Bethel. I don't know whether you know Bethel in US.
Yes, Bethel.
Yeah, so they don't even call their pastors, they call them directors and elders. They were all trained in Bethel. So they have a good, what do they call it, children's ministry. It looks like Daystar, trust me.
Wow.
It looks
You move from home to home.
I'm telling you, it looks like distant, just that the teachers look like distant, just that you know that, oh, no, they are not blacks. There'll still be those differences there. However, in terms of children's ministry, yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Awesome. That's fantastic. So we can say you have a community of like-minded parents around you?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Okay.
Yes and no. I'm very friendly, but I'm very careful about choosing or making friends like that.
Okay.
I still have my very closest friends. They are still in Nigeria.
After 4 years.
I'm telling you. However, I have friends here. But another thing God does is I have neighbors, funny enough, that are Nigerians.
Oh.
Which is very rare. Like very, very rare. And that has also helped.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're raising your children the same way, and you have points of intersection.
We have points of intersection, but not that we are raising our children the same way. It's just a good thing when you come out of your house and you know that, oh, there's somebody that looks like me around here, that kind of a thing.
Okay. So that feeling of community.
That's a feeling of community. But there are many people here that they have, so many friends here in the UK, which is a blessing. It's good to have a very good network of friends here. But I just tend to choose my friends very carefully.
So it's a personality.
I've always been like that, yes. But not that I'm not friendly.
Yes, yes, I know.
Yeah.
You said it twice.
I'm very friendly.
Right. But you're not, I don't want to label you, but you're careful, like you said. Let me repeat what you said. Yeah. You're careful in selecting people to come close to. So do you think it will help if you had parents, like-minded parents around you? Do you think it would be of any benefit if you had that kind of community around you?
Not really, because you could actually join a group that they don't live around you, but they've really helped you. We will call that, I will call it a community, but they are not a community.
Yeah. Virtual community.
Virtual community. So definitely they help. And I've also heard from friends here, they don't live in the UK, they live in places like, I think Leeds. Apparently there's a community of Nigerians in the UK. They have like a network, which is very rare amongst us Nigerians. You see Asians, they help each other, they have a community. You see, Jews,
Indians, yes.
Indians. But Nigeria, not lie or no. However, the way the sister explained to me, there's a community actually in the UK, but I think their head office is around where she is, and
they have a head office.
Yes, they have a head office. She explained to me that the president right now is even a medical doctor.
Okay.
Yes, and they are quite strong in such a way that at times they involve them in some bits of parliament and things like that. However, it's around Leeds. Leeds is quite far from London. Yeah.
So maybe
I just heard about it maybe like 2 or 3 months ago. I've never heard that before, because I can remember, because I still follow Pastor Sam till now, and it's true. There was a time we're talking about Nigerian community. It doesn't really exist, outside Nigeria. You rarely see Nigerians helping themselves.
Band together.
But Indians, they will help each other. You see Indians that want to get mortgage, the way they would distribute that money amongst families. As the money leaves this one, send it to this one. That sense of community is there. And it wasn't something that started now. It's been there for years.
I agree.
For Nigerians, it's just rare.
So why do you think it's rare?
I don't know. I think it's, number one, it could be that African mindset. We African mindset. we know where we are coming from, and for some
Okay.
reasons it's just weird. We have a very weird mindset, but you won't blame some people. It could be what they've been through, what their parents have been through. That's for the positive ones, but there are some that it just doesn't make sense why they behave the way they behave, and it's just been labeled as a Nigerian thing. Yeah, like this person not willing to help this person, or you are not willing to share, and nobody's telling you to share what is out of the ordinary. It's just a way of helping a fellow brother or sister. Yeah, I've heard different stories like that of, oh, when I got here, I went through this, I went through that. And I'm like, come on. If you've met this family that looks like you, how come they didn't help you? How come this, how come that? I've seen many people like that.
That's a conversation for another day. We'll discuss that over.
Exactly. It's a conversation for another day, but it's something that still happen here,
Yes.
So if you have a community, if you are blessed to live close or have a community that share, it's a blessing. And that's why I always talk about that. Thy precious jewel, and it's interdenominational and it's international. So there's UK branch, there's Nigeria. I told you I joined from Nigeria anyway.
Yes.
There's Canada, there's US, and even US. US is really big. So I think there is the one for Atlanta, Georgia. I think so, yeah. So for anybody coming to the UK that I'm close to, even if I'm not close to you, I will always want to pull a sister to join that kind of growth.
I wonder what is in the way of building those kind of communities. But like we said, we'll talk about it another time.
So people are brave enough to do it anyway, Yeah.
So it's a bravery matter.
It's not a bravery matter.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we are talking about two things here, isn't it? The community one and, like that women's group I talk about that I said has really been of immense help to me.
Yes.
But building that community, Nigerian community, it's a talk for another day. And you see, maybe you can invite many moms or families to, everybody should just share the reason why they just feel why they don't do this, or maybe what has happened to them in the past, what a fellow brother or sister has done to them in the past, and things like that. Or how can we come out of that kind of bubble?
Yes, because that's the conversation that is.
How can we come out of that kind of bubble? Yeah.
And I think it's important because, like you mentioned, Asians and Chinese and Indians and some other communities, even Hispanics, when they come into a place, they band together, support each other.
From a bubble.
And yes, exactly. So they know each other, they look out for each other. And the consistent statement about Nigerians that are abroad is that Nigerians go there and they're like,
oh, I'm not the only person that said that.
No, you're not. You're not. No, you're not. And someone even went as far as saying that he mistakenly spoke Yoruba in a store in the UK, and someone else said Yoruba, said something in Yoruba back to him, and he was like, no, he's not the one that said it. It was so funny.
So you can imagine. So you can imagine, like, why do that?
Why is that? Is it a conditioning thing? Is it that people have been taught that? I don't know. I would really like to troubleshoot it and
you
understand.
will never see an Indian man that his children don't speak their language. You'll never see a Chinese that their children don't speak their language. And it's a very good thing if we can, any parents, traveling abroad or, relocating, to try as much as possible to make sure that their children can speak their language. Is a super plus, trust me. There's a conversation you want to have with your children, outside of your house or wherever, and you need that language to communicate. You don't want the other people around you to hear what you're talking about.
Especially when it's a safety matter or
or even anything. Here, when you get to the UK, they will tell you your children belong to the
They belong to who?
They belong to the queen.
I
We'll
don't
talk
think
about that. We'll talk about that another day.
Are the queen's children missing? What's the meaning of the
Not
children
really,
belong?
just in terms of child safety. I'm sure
Responsibility.
you would have heard, the news about maybe the government taking children away from some parents. It could happen.
For when the
Anything.
children are endangered or what?
Yes. And endangered could be
that
even
makes sense.
discipline.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even in Nigeria, it exists. It's just that it's not enforced. Nigeria, there is CPS in Nigeria. There's social
Social what? Are they working?
That is the problem. And then the culture won't even allow such a person to sleep well at night. If you're the one who took a baby who is endangered from their mother, and then your neighbors are coming like, you did what? You took a child. Is it your own? Blah, blah, blah. The culture doesn't even support that. And we don't prioritize children in this part of the world. Children are not that important in the grand scheme of things. We focus on adults who are well-fed, who are pot-bellied, and those are the people that the society further supports. The vulnerable are not taken care of around here. Children, widows, the protected classes are not regarded around here. So yes, and it's something everyone really needs to look into, because at the end of the day, this life is a cycle. You're in this position today, you might be in a vulnerable state tomorrow. And if you don't make sure there's legislation or there's support, there's some social security system for people in that position, if it is your turn, then you won't get the same benefits. But we live in a bubble. See, that bubble in the UK is here as well. People live in a bubble with their tarred streets. The main road is bad, but there are tarred streets and high fences.
Their own house, right?
Yes, and then they have their own generators, and they don't care what happens to the neighbors. It's a pandemic, to be honest.
But it's a good thing, we get to the UK, you don't have to worry about lights and all. It's good because it gives you less things to worry about. You don't need to worry about water. You don't need to worry about, I need to iron my clothes now because by so hour. It gives you less things to worry about. However, there are some other things that are peculiar to this government also.
Such as?
Nothing is free. So you guys, you have the lights, it's free. However, you are paying for it. You have the gas, you have everything, but you are paying for it. You get what I mean? Yeah.
Yes, I do. You pay here as well, really. You pay here. It's just that you pay and you still don't get it.
You don't see what you are paying for, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
I get it.
And there's nobody to complain to. There's nobody. I mean, you would probably hear someone over the phone say, you even saw lights 2 weeks ago, you're complaining. Really? Some people have not had lights since for 6 months.
Those are the things people just think about, that let me just get out of this Nigeria. If it's because of, so I can even have lights 365 days a year.
And internet.
Let me experience that first. I can worry about any other thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what is healthcare for you and the children like?
Healthcare.
For your family?
Okay.
NHS.
NHS is a blessing compared to America, or I think the same thing is in Canada, where they have to take insurance. But you have been hearing in the news how, the, what do they call it? The standard is now going, is depreciating. Not the quality, however, due to COVID, they prioritize some kind of health issues over the other now. However, it's NHS and it's as good as free in as much as it's tax money. Yeah.
You pay for it, but you don't know.
They are removing it from your monthly salaries. Yeah, they tax it. You're just enjoying your tax that they are deducting, your national insurance and the likes. Yeah. So healthcare, in UK is much. We are I would say in a more better place than America and Canada because of NHS. However, many people also do private, especially at this time right now, when you might need, your doctor's appointments that used to be, you can book appointment on Monday and see a doctor on, let's say, Wednesday, but things have really changed now. your appointment might be in a month's time.
Because of shortages of staff and all of that.
No, it's COVID.
Yeah.
It's COVID.
So there are more patients, there are more
and the vulnerables, So there's a way they define, if you are not about to die, then your case is not critical. It's as bad as that.
Yeah. Awesome. So what challenges will you say parents around you face? What do you see from your experience and observation? What do you think parents around you need help with? That wasn't in your questionnaire, sorry. I'm making you think.
I'm thinking, every family will have their own dynamics and different challenges.
Right.
So number one, it could be that issues with marriage.
Okay.
Back home, we have nanny, we have house help. If you even live in a place where you see Megida coming to wash your car and all that for you, but here you cannot do them yourself. You take your car to your car wash. There's nobody coming. There's a mobile valet and all that, but they are more expensive, but they are readily available car washes. And the dimension of chores and stuff in the house is something that couples need to discuss when they are coming here, because there's no nanny. There's no security that will, before you wake up, the floor is mopped, everywhere is clean. You are all by yourself. And it's just you two and your children. And you need to talk about those things, to make it work for the two of you. Most especially in our country, where there are many families where the men provides and they just expect you to sort out everything. But here, the provision goes to so many things. At least you have roof over your head. And so there's at times there might not be those extras for you to have a nanny, pay nursery and all that, then see somebody that will clean. Yeah, so it could be the house chores that might become a problem, but it's good to just sit down and have a talk about it on how you want to take care of things like that, so that the house won't be always hot about, I just finished mopping, then you sweep, then you take the children to school, then you are the one doing this, you are the one doing that. Yeah, how to share the chores in the house and just how to help each other, because it's your home anyway. So for some men, it's a hard mindset change of something they are not used to. So it could, I've seen many people have that issues here, still expect the woman to still do as she was when she was back home. Yeah, that is always a major issue. Another thing is parenting. I think it starts from how you do things. Like for us, by the grace of God, like I said, we were Christians, and there was some form of intentionality, like you said, even back home before we got here, and we did not stop. There are many things that can derail you. You won't even know that you've stopped, but you just notice that, it's been a while we read the Bible. It's been a while, and it just looks normal. There are so many things that were not normal back then that just becomes normal, and you just forget about it. And the children are growing. When it comes to a time when you've not done this thing for a very long time with them, they also forget. So another part is parenting, so that you don't lose those children, because when they now grow and you're unable to, like they say, when the fish is still fresh, you can fold it,
bend it.
You can bend it. But when it's grown and the bones are hard, if you try to bend, it breaks. So I'll say keep that unit, your parenting. Just try as much as possible to be intentional as much as possible. It is not easy, but it is doable. That's what I know. It's not easy, but it's doable. Having a timetable for them, following up on it, praying for them, praying about their friends, choose their friends on your knees. So that when they're even telling you that, mommy, see the kind of friend that you know that this one that I've settled in prayer, you know that you think your friend came just by himself or herself, I chose, so having that close knit with your close knit family, because like I said, children have rights here, even over the parents here in the UK, and it's how you train them.
They know. So your children know they have rights.
At some point in school, they teach them about it. At some level in school, they will teach them, they will tell them the number to call. If blah blah happens in your house, yes, at some point they will tell them. However, a child that you have trained, but not only you, they are always on the altar. You've placed their name on the altar, and you just didn't place their name on the altar and walk away. Is a daily thing. Is a daily thing. They know what they do in school, and there are some things they know at home, and they will tell you that, or at times, even some teachers can try to use questions to just be funny, to try to ask them what is happening in their house. But if you've trained your children that whatever happens in our house stays in our house, they understand it. When they hear some things in school, they remember what you've taught them at home.
They compare.
Heterosexual, all this bisexual, they will teach them in school. They will.
So do you have those, they come to you with those kind of questions?
Oh yes, we've done it. We've done even at that young age. Yes. We've talked about sex. We've talked about
gay couples,
people that will say they are bisexual, lesbianism, but our teaching is still based on the word. And we've also taught them that they shouldn't look at those people as what do they call it? They can still pray. They will tell you that they will pray for them, that in their mind they were praying for those people. So it's how you've trained them, Yeah. So what other challenges? Finances. My sister, that one, it is not easy for most families. However, when you get here, depending on who earns more or who earns less, and depending on the ages of the children, you'll be able to work those things out. There are some families that it is the exact salary that they pay out to the nursery every month. And it's one of the spouse, you know that as you collect the salary, everything goes to the nursery. However, it was a decision they made so that they won't have a gap in their work experience. However, but some families will say, okay, you earn more, let me stay at home and do the child minding. Or, you just balance things. It's the challenges are different for everybody, depending on, their dynamics.
Did you have to maintain a budget? A strict budget?
Oh, okay. I didn't like that. But I married somebody that's how it works. So I've been used to it, even from Nigeria. I cost everything in the house on a spreadsheet, down to the cost of Maggi in Nigeria. So I had to continue doing the same thing here.
And has it helped?
Oh, definitely. We work on a budget. And you have to create, you also have to create allowance for miscellaneous.
Right.
There are some things that happen that you don't plan for. Just put a small budget and add, no matter how bad it is, still save a percentage.
Something.
Right. And many Christians will get here and they don't want to touch on the issue of tithing, and they will tell you God understands because it can be really tight. However, it depends on your understanding. So I don't tell people, you need to tithe. No. I leave people to do their thing. And I just pray that, God's touch speaks to them, or the eyes of their understanding will be open the way we understand this thing. Some people will even preach and quote the Bible for you on top of the reason why they don't want to tithe. But it's not a decision you don't want to be arguing about. It's just like when a Christian and a Muslim start talking about stuff, when the argument starts, I don't know. I don't involve myself in those things. Yeah.
Mm.
So everybody have, it depends on, where they are, how old the children are, find the different things there are so many different kind of challenges in the UK, to be honest, Yeah. But you just have to decide between you and your husband and fight to work it out, you know, fight to ensure that no matter what happens, no matter what rocks our boats, we'll scatter it and we'll rearrange it again.
And
Yeah.
family is priority.
It's priority, exactly. Yeah. So many things, to be honest, so many challenges. I can't mention them all. So different things happen to many people. I've met a couple here where she was working in Nigeria, and when she got here, for the first 10 years, she did not work.
By choice?
By choice at first. And when she wanted to start, it wasn't easy. She wasn't just getting the job. Yeah, and she had to, And another thing is there are parents that won't take, because a registered childminder minimum is £48 per day. But you could also have people that do, nannies. They come here to do. There are people that take, come here and they work as nannies. It can be cheaper.
And unofficially.
However, you'll find out about those people around your community. In your children's school, when you see people that look like you talk to them, you say hello, they tell you some things. Yeah. You just see on their, they also say it in Yoruba, see whether this person is Yoruba, so that the people around you won't hear what you're talking about. And they'll tell you how they are doing their childmind, which childminder they are using, this is the amount the person is getting, or the children start school, you are working, but however, children finish school between 3 and 3:30, but your work is 8 to 5. You need where the children will stay. After school club is £12 per child for just those 2 hours till 6 p.m. So imagine if you have 2 children, they've started school, but that's £24 per day. Because you want to put them somewhere till 6 o'clock.
A couple of hours.
If you don't come to pick those child after 6 o'clock, it's £5 per minute if you are late.
Oh my.
Yes. So another option could be finding after school childminder, and the people in your school, parents in your school, will give you a heads up. Yeah, people in your community, they will give you a heads up what they are doing, and at times there might be nothing actually, and you'll have to pay that extra £12 or It's all sorts, to be honest. It's just getting prepared. Another word of wisdom I could say is from Nigeria now. If anybody is coming and you have pensions, you can withdraw from your pensions. I think you can take about 25%.
Yes.
It could be a wholesome money to come with. Aside, if you sell your cars, you sell your everything, you're going to exchange this naira to pounds anyway. Today, £1 is 730 naira. So how many millions do you want to come with that exchange rate that is not coming down? So if you have pensions, please look into it and also come with it. Any cash you can come with, it's going to be it's going to act, it will be some shock absorber for you, until things settles down. And also touching on work, I tell people that having BSc, MBA and all that, you come here and you start applying for managerial jobs and you don't get it at first, it could be demotivating and all that, but it happens. You might have to do some manual jobs when you first get here. If that is what is going to pay your bills, please do it happily on your way to getting your desired professional jobs. I've seen many people come here where the husband had to work as a security or do, factory job just to earn some money, because from the day you get here, it's a different ball game in Canada. because Canada government, I think, yeah, they provide some sort of loans. It's not like that in the UK. From the first day here, your bill starts counting. There's no free rent. So if the first job you are able to do is those manual jobs, meanwhile you have BSc, you have MSc, you have PhD, you might have to start from there. However, what I try to tell people is don't forget yourself in that there. Yeah.
It's temporary.
It's temporary, and you might get a role with your BSc and MSc that the people that are the same level with you did not go to school. They started from immediately after primary school, they did GCSE, they started working immediately. So you see, I worked in an establishment where the CEO started from taking trolleys outside. You know, people that pack trolleys from the car park. That was how he started, and he rose to become a CEO. Work experience is recognized in the UK over your whatever degree you are coming with, except you are in the techie profession where you need to do certifications, and your certificates and all that will count towards it. However, work experience is still very important. But before you balance up, find your level and all that, you might have to do those manual jobs to put food on the table. But the good thing is manual job is not as if they were paying you scraps. Like I said, there's labor law here, and there's minimum wage. There's also a minimum living wage. It will be some amount of it's going to be whole. So even though it's manual, you'll be able to live on it. Yeah. So people should just be prepared.
Thank you so much.
People should just be prepared.
Prepared, right. Especially when you're coming over with children. The children didn't send you.
They didn't send you.
They have needs. They have things that they require to be comfortable, at least to an extent. So you have to take responsibility. Thank you so very much. I appreciate your time. Like I said, I appreciate your candor and your transparency and you giving back, because this is you giving back. And thank you on behalf of everyone who is going to see this, and they're going to go like, let me write this down. That was very
I hope I was able to answer some questions or say some things that could help.
Yes. Okay. You did exactly that, and I appreciate you. Thank you, Dara. Are the boys in bed already?
Oh yes, we have routine, and
right.
Yeah,
it's important.
It's very important, so that you can also have your me time. You would have been up since morning doing all sorts, settling them. You need to create time for yourself, even if it's 1 or 2 hours after they've slept or something.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm taking part of your me time, so I'm going to let you go.
Thank you.
So that you can have a few minutes of time by yourself before bed. Thank you so much once again, Dara. Help us greet Uncle.
I will.
Bye. Please give him our best.
I will.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so that has been Mrs. Okeowo, Dara Okeowo, speaking with us about her experience parenting alongside her husband in Kent, UK. I hope you have learned something. I have learned quite a lot. I've filled my notes, I typed stuff, I have nuggets here and there that I'm sure I'll refer to. I'm looking forward to the next conversation with another parent sharing with us, being so open and so vulnerable to share her challenges and her successes, right? Those solutions that she has been able to find, and how she spoke particularly about how she has trusted God to sort her out. She's a spiritual person. I hope this will propel you in that direction as well, so that you can find answers and get results similar to hers. Thank you so much for watching. See you at the next conversation. Bye-bye.